On today's episode, we talk about how to get out of a funk, and I share details about my upcoming tour across the US.
Hey, K-Footers team, Anthony. Spent with Cam. I just made a reply on the YouTube video and he said let's meet up. Here we are. He's a cool guy.
I'm a cool guy.
Yeah, and he knows what he's talking about. So
hit me up. I'd love to hear from you guys, and yeah, great to meet you, man. Hey, what's up guys? Cam here, and today I'm coming at you from Calgary, Canada. Today's question is about how to get out of a funk. This is a question that I've experienced a lot throughout my life because growing up, if there's one thing that's been pretty consistent, it's been feelings of depression, anxiety, and feelings of not being good enough. Throughout the course of my life, I've had to put a lot of effort in to figuring out how to get over these funks and to become a master of my emotions. Today, what I want to share with you is a framework that's really helped me, and in the process, be able to understand what these funks are and how to get out of them. Similar to my video on stress, a lot of this has to do with the mindsets that you have and how those contribute to the quality of your life every single day. So the mindset you want to have around your emotions is that your emotions are a state that you're in. What you want to understand is that you can shift that state to be anything that you want to be, and all you need to know is how to shift these states. So if you're feeling like you're in a rut, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling in a funk, what you want to understand is that there's a few different factors that are contributing to that. And in the same way, if you're feeling inspired or happy, enthusiastic, there are factors contributing to that as well. Now, I'll go into the different factors in a second, but what I want you to understand is that you have a lot of control over these states. So you actually have a lot more control over the emotions that you're in. And as we've talked about many times in these videos, you want to focus on how you can set yourself up for success, to feel how you want to feel instead of just feeling like a victim. An example is if you feel bored. If you feel bored, there are reasons why that's happening, and it's not just because life is boring. Maybe it's because you haven't chosen new activities. Maybe it's because you haven't scheduled your day. Maybe it's because your energy is just low. But these things are happening for reasons, and because of that, you can choose how you want to feel and do the things that contribute to that as well. One of my favorite quotes is that if you're bored, it's because you're boring. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. And the same thing applies to being depressed or in a funk or being happy. There are choices that we make every single day that contribute to us experiencing these different emotions and these different states. So the framework I want to teach you today are the 3 factors that actually contribute to your state. These are the things that make up your state. And I learned this by attending a seminar by Tony Robbins last year. The first factor is your physiology. So how you physically feel contributes to how you feel. I know that seems like common sense, but this is really powerful because, as an example, if you're feeling depressed, you're probably laying in bed or laying on the couch, you're not moving around very much, your body language is poor, you're not breathing. There are all these different factors in your body that contribute to you feeling depressed. Whereas if you feel inspired or happy, there are certain things that you're doing with your body as well. You're probably moving around a lot, your body language is good, you're breathing. So if you're in a funk and you don't want to be, you need to start moving around. You need to take baby steps. Maybe that's getting up off the couch, going for a walk, doing some jumping jacks. You need to start taking deeper breaths. You need to move your body. At the Tony Robbins event, we did a lot of this practice where we'd be sitting on a chair and then he'd tell us to stand up and start jumping up and down. But the reason this was so powerful is because afterwards, you're feeling inspired, you're feeling alive. You're ready to take on the world. Right now, I'm going to show you a clip from the event, and I want you to see just how much energy there is, and all that started by us sitting on a chair.
3, 2, 1.
Now, I'm not saying that you need to stand up and start jumping up and down and listening to all this inspirational music, but what I am saying is that if you want to feel better and you're currently not feeling great, then take the lessons that you can learn from watching this video. The next factor is your focus. What you focus on expands. Your focus has such a major influence in your life that if there's anything I hope that you can take away from this video or any of the videos I'm doing, it's to focus on what you want to create. Focus on living the life that you want. That's my entire message. Just be intentional with how you want to feel and do the things that are scientifically proven to help you get there. So when you're feeling in a funk, you're probably focusing on what you don't have instead of on what you do. You're probably focused on where you are instead of where you want to go. If you're focused on how bad you feel in the moment instead of on the different things that you can do, the different habits you can have that can contribute to you feeling how you want to feel, that's going to make a really big difference. Anytime you're in a funk, you want to start paying attention to what you're focusing on. The third factor is your language and your meaning. This really comes down to your purpose. The language that you use has a major impact on how you behave. A classic example is saying I'm trying to do this versus I am doing this. Another example is when you're feeling in a funk, if you focus on why is this happening to me instead of how can this be for my benefit. By asking yourself those questions, you're going to get a very different result. If you ask yourself why is this happening to me, you're shifting responsibility away from yourself. You're shifting responsibility to something outside of yourself and blaming that for why you feel the way you feel. If you ask yourself how can this be for my benefit, now you're shifting responsibility to yourself. Now you're focusing on the actions that you can take to move in the direction that you want. And I can't stress enough how much of a difference asking yourself one of these questions is going to make. After my last relationship ended, I was in a huge funk, and this actually lasted for over 4 months where my depression was really intense. The thing that really helped me get out of it was when I started focusing on how this was going to be a turning point in my life, how this was going to be a gift in my life that I would look back on in a few years and be thankful for because it had so many benefits. Although it was hard at the time, it was an opportunity for me to really start thinking about how I wanted to live my life. It was a really good opportunity for me to develop a better foundation and better habits to help me live the life that I wanted. Anytime you're in a funk, you want to pay attention to these 3 factors: your physiology, your focus, and the language and meaning that you're giving to the experience. And remember, this doesn't just have to be when you're in a really big funk. These can be little funks too. Life is a wave and your emotions are going to come up and down. But what you want to have is a bunch of different tools and practices that you can implement anytime you're not feeling how you want to feel. Anytime you're feeling a little bit off, you can go to these exercises, you can go to this framework and understand more about what's really happening. So I hope that helps you guys out, and if it does, make sure you hit thumbs up to help others find this video. Make sure you subscribe, and I would love if you leave a comment. I've seen a few comments lately where people said that they were surprised there weren't more comments. But the thing is, a lot of you guys are watching these videos. You're just not sharing in the comments below. So make sure you do that so that others can see how many of us are really going through these similar things. In the next few weeks, I'm going to be going on a road trip across the US. So in September and October, I'm going to be in a bunch of different cities. I'll be in places like Utah, Colorado, New York City, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Oregon, and Washington. If you're in any of these cities, hit me up and I'd love to meet up. Just this week, I was in Calgary, Canada, and Anthony reached out saying that he was in town, and so we grabbed coffee, and it was really cool. All right, so that's it for me today, guys. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, peace. Hello.